Record button.
Hi, Doug.
Hi there, Todd.
Hey,
We have a Matt here.
yeah,
Hello,
sorry,
Matt.
I was a little bit late.
Matt,
We'll give them just a second to see if anyone else shows up. I did click the record button.
I'm lucky I made it home in time. Traffic was a booger.
Yeah, I was busy tonight. Was that Matt that was in here?
Yeah,
Nice to meet you, Matt.
yeah, nice to meet you too.
Are you in an automotive program?
Currently, no.
Okay. All right, Todd, should we start?
I suppose we should.
All right, you want to talk first?
Sure, I'll go. This is our new $23 million fully remodeled Automotive Technology building. It's really nice. It has all the latest and greatest bells and whistles.
Yeah, we'll show you some of it as we go.
Yeah. Hey, the automotive trade has many lucrative jobs and employment opportunities for those that choose this pathway. Vehicle repair technician, sales, parts counter, service advisor, just to name a few. Hey, short, efficient programs, certificate in 9 months, an AAS degree in 1.5 years. We run our quarters concurrently, so there are no summers off. So it starts out with introduction to automotive technology, which we offer fall and spring quarters. Then that's followed with either engines or steering, suspension, and brakes. Once you complete those 3 quarters, you can earn an MLR certificate. After that, it goes to advanced electrical, followed by engine performance, drivability, and air conditioning. And then to finish off the program, transmission and drivetrain. And then you have completed 6 quarters. And if you do the degree, you would have mathematics, English, and psychology. And then you would have an AAS degree, which is an Associate's of Applied Science. You can also, if you take the correct English, math, and psychology courses, it can be transferable to a 4-year degree. So this program helps us start the students on their way. And by having the quarters run concurrently, it doesn't interrupt their funding.
We'll talk a little bit more and break this down when we get a little farther through here.
Okay, there's an automobile technician shortage due to a couple of factors. Attrition. A lot of the techs in the industry are getting older, and for quite some time, a lot of primary and secondary education, or I should say preparatory education, have not been recognizing that there are valuable jobs in industry. So they've been steering most students to a 4-year degree. Right now, there's over 100,000 workers that are needed in this industry. A certificate starting wage in the Seattle area is $18 to $22 per hour. Degree starting wage is $22 to $25 per hour, and that's at an hourly rate. Once you become, a seasoned journeyman, a lot of facilities offer flat rate, and that's where the pay scale is based on the flat rate labor guide. So if a job is flat rated at 2 hours and you have the skill sets, you can probably finish the job faster than 2 hours, which will up your pay scale. Okay, the technician that has completed 2 years of school, plus 2 to 4 years of work experience, we're talking $30 to $55 per hour.
Yeah, it's quite a lucrative career, for sure.
Okay, so our classrooms are clean, large, have downdraft ventilation to help ensure that we're doing everything to keep all the students, instructors, safe. So it's state-of-the-art ventilation system, which was instituted because of the COVID outbreak. So it's a radiant heating system in the ceiling, and then the ventilation is downdraft, which pulls the air down from the ceiling and exits the building. And the labs are very large, also the latest technology in lighting, ventilation. All the lifts have been replaced with new ones. So there's some pictures of some of our equipment that has been installed. The lifts, the drain tables in the transmission lab, and additional lifts. Okay, we have the latest alignment machines to learn from. So you be prepared to enter the industry. So we currently have the latest John Beam machine, and we're supposed to get another one. And having this equipment is very important and vital to know how to operate it so that when you enter into industry, you'll be ready to go. We also have state-of-the-art four-wheel drive dyno. This is a way of tracing down drivability issues under heavy loads, such as going up a hill or towing. We can also check the horsepower and torque that is being produced at the wheels. And we actually tested a couple of vehicles on this. So while we were learning how to use this, one is one of our training aids. It's a Subaru Forester, and it's turbocharged. And we discovered it made 180 horsepower and 200 pound-feet of torque, which I thought was really neat. Okay, so here's a video of the Subaru being dyno tested. You notice that the vehicle has to be lashed down. This was dyno testing of our rear-wheel drive Ford race truck. That was exciting too. It makes lots of noise. Another shot of it.
All right, you could see Todd was driving that vehicle on the rack, and he was doing over 100 miles an hour in that short period of time that he had the engine revved up. But it'll be a great training tool for us to be able to show drivability issues on live under load. So.
And for older vehicles, like maybe one of the students has a vehicle where you can actually adjust the timing and things like that. It's a way of dialing in the vehicle under load. These are some of our cool equipments we have. Brake lathes. We have both on-car and static. So we have Pro Cuts where you can actually turn the rotors on the vehicle. And then of course, we have static lathes, AMCO and a AccuTurn that are bench mounted. We have the latest scan machines, newest lab scopes, tire mounting balance machines, brake bleeding machines, lots of measuring tools. You're going to do a lot of measuring. Most everything we do involves measuring something, either with micrometers or vernier calipers, dial indicators, DMM. That's going to be a tool that really gets used in industry now. We measure with lab scopes, so lots of that. Over $1 million in special power and hand tools used in industry. We have a lot of pretty cool cutaway training aids so you can see how something operates, so when you look at it, you know how it operates. It's not just a magic box, especially in the world of transmissions.
We also have a couple of vehicles that we've dismantled all the body around the vehicle so that we have a really nice training aid to see how the vehicle is made and where all the components are.
Hey, there's lots of scholarships and grant money out there, especially since COVID. In this image, you see 3 students that were awarded toolboxes and tools from the Edward Cruzen scholarship, which is exclusive to our program. So these 3 students, they won it. It took them about 2 hours to fill out the paperwork. They received these tools, and there's all sorts of other programs where you can receive tools through WorkSource. There's a program where if you get it, if you qualify for that, you can use a Blue Point toolbox, roll-away toolbox, and it comes with first, second, and third quarter tools for you to use. And if you complete the program, it's yours to keep.
Yeah, it's about $6,000 retail worth of tools that become the students. So filling out the paperwork for these grants is a huge, huge thing for you to do.
Okay, in the new building, we have a student lounge area. It's going to have, my understanding is some vending machines as well as a microwave. So you can heat up a can of soup or whatever's going to be in the vending machines. I'm not really sure. They haven't let us know on that. But it's just a place where you can chill out and relax. Hey, what does a technician need to know to work on an automobile? Well, you gotta know how to safely use tools, hand and power tools, how mechanical things work. You have to know how to communicate with a service advisor, parts specialist, and the customer. And those are some of the skill sets we teach you. You have to understand computer inputs and outputs and networking, because today's automobiles are computerized. Every function in the car is controlled by a computer, whether you're turning the headlights on or rolling a window down, moving the seat, doesn't matter. Every function of the car is computer controlled. Okay, you got to understand basic hydraulic systems. Brake systems in your vehicle are hydraulic. You have to understand how to diagnose and repair fuel systems. This is critical. Cars today are fuel injected. Port fuel injected cars, typical pressure is anywhere from 30 to 60 PSI. Direct injected vehicles are anywhere from 2,200 to 22,000 PSI. So it's imperative that you know how to work on these vehicles and how to work on them safely. You know, learn how to diagnose and repair ignition systems. Most cars today are coil near plug or coil on plug. They don't have distributors anymore. They haven't had those for nearly 25 years or more. You got to understand electronics and electrical systems because today's cars are electronically controlled, and it's very important to understand how these work, how to properly diagnose them, and understand basic electricity. How to diagnose and repair HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. All cars today have air conditioning. It's on all the time. Whenever you turn the car on to defrost, it cycles the AC compressor so that the evaporator core can absorb the moisture and dehumidify the inside of the car and keep the windscreen clean and fog free. You learn how to shake down a car and find out what's wrong with the steering, brakes, transmission, engines, suspension, etc. It's very important to know how to shake down a car, how to do the basic inspections on the vehicle so that you can alert the service advisor or the customer what the needed repairs are, and then they can prioritize what's going to have to be done. Okay. And a driver's license and a clean driving record are required. So shops can insure you. If you have lots of speeding tickets or no driver's license, you won't be able to get a job because you have to be able to drive a car and the shop has to be able to insure you. Very important. Okay. So I don't know, are we going to be getting to have ASE tests soon, Doug? COVID kind of messed all that up.
ASC tests are still available for the students. It's done to a different format. We used to have computer testing on campus, and now the students can go to the ASE site, set up their web page, register, and with the school documents, after you've completed a class, you're able to take the certification. ASE stands for Automotive Service Excellence. It's nationally recognized, and a lot of shops are actually paying extra money to their technicians that come in with ASE certifications. You get the entry level or student ASE right when you finish the specific program or portion that you were taking. And then to get the industry one, you need to have 2 years of school and 1 year of work experience in industry, or 2 years of work experience in industry. But this is really a big feather to have in your cap to help you get employed at the top dollar when you leave the school.
Okay, so first quarter, intro to automotive technology. Second quarter, steering, suspension, and brakes. Third quarter is engines. Now, these 2 quarters can be interchanged because those first 3 quarters will get you what's known as a maintenance and light repair certificate via ASC. Fourth quarter is advanced electrical and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC. Fifth quarter, advanced drivability and fuel systems. And then sixth quarter, transmission and drivetrain. And we learn about automatic transmissions, manual transmissions, transaxles, transfer cases, drive axles, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, lots of fun.
Right. So right now, I think what we should do is break down what we're teaching in each of these quarters. So
Okay.
Todd, why don't you doc the first quarter and I'll take the next 3 after that.
Okay, so an introduction to automotive technology. We learn how to use basic hand tools. We learn how to shake down a car, how to put a car on a hoist. And we also learn a majority of the intro is learning electricity, how to do voltage drop, how to measure current, amperage, how to measure resistance, and how to measure voltage. Now, voltage drop is an indirect way of measuring resistance. It's a way of measuring resistance in a component or a circuit without having to disassemble it. In order to measure resistance, we would have to take it apart and isolate it. And, we learned the basics of some subsystems like brakes. We briefly go over it. And that's pretty much what we cover in intro. Yeah.
Yep. Then the second quarter, steering, suspension, and brakes. I'll focus brakes first. We do start with brakes first generally. It could be either or depending on what our students' needs are at the beginning of the class or the beginning of the quarter. But we start right out with the hydraulics of the brakes, starting at the master cylinder, working our way down the brake lines, the brake hoses, the brake calipers, wheel cylinders, to get down to the full hydraulic system and the brakes. And then we work into the foundation portion of the brakes, which would be brake shoes, brakes, return springs, hold down springs, brake calipers for disc brakes. And we machine brake rotors and brake drums on the car and off the car, so that you can learn the full meal deal there. We move into steering and suspension. From that point, we start out with doing inspections on them, and then we're learning about ball joints and tie rods and bushings and the different types of suspensions, the different types of springs used to support the vehicle, and all of the steering components. We start right with the steering wheel, work down the steering shaft, into the rack and pinion or the steering box, and out to the tie rods and so on. We spend a lot of time also using a tire machine so we can remove a tire from the wheel and put it back on the wheel. And then we also work on balancing the tires and wheel assembly so that there'll be a complete job. When you complete the first 3 quarters, that's a job pretty much like Firestone, Les Schwab, these type of places is where you would work. The third quarter would be engines. We start out with engines that the school owns that are not in a vehicle at this time. And we do a complete, we look up work instructions in the Pro Demand or All Data, which are our workbooks, electronic workbooks. And we disassemble and measure every component in the engine, understand what these components are, how they move the parts, and how to reassemble the engines, and make sure everything is in time and the bolts are torqued correctly and the components are cleaned. And then we work into live engines. We want you to take apart and put together one that's not going back in the car, just to make sure that nothing gets broken on a vehicle that's going on the road. Then we work into live engines, and these are the engines in our cars or your own cars. And we do timing belts, valve covers, intake manifolds, head gaskets, oil leaks, and things like that. And then we work into the beginning of drivability, which would be tune-up, minor tune-up, which would be spark plugs, sensors, some emissions devices and such. And from that, the next quarter would be the fourth quarter, advanced electrical. So we do a review of what you learned on electrical and intro. We've touched a little electrical along the way, getting to the fourth quarter. And once we do the review on it, we take it a little deeper and we dive into the charging systems, the starting systems, the cranking systems, the battery systems, the lighting systems. And we start working with the networking of the computers. And like Todd mentioned earlier, everything's controlled with the computer. We have upwards of 50 computers on a vehicle now. So we need to use the scan machine to trace down which computer might be having problems, or which system. And we can actually go in and see live data on all the different sensors in the vehicle. So we can try and diagnose why the vehicle isn't working correctly. Then, of course, we get into the HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning. This is a whole system that we focus on because you need some advanced technology, to be able to diagnose these systems and make sure they're working correctly. We have some really fancy air conditioning machines for removing the refrigerant from the vehicle and diagnosing what's wrong, and then reinstalling the refrigerant and testing the different pressures throughout the systems. All right, Todd, you go ahead and take on the fifth and sixth quarters here.
There we go. Nick, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Advanced drivability. We continue with what we had in advanced electrical. We're going to do lots of stuff with electrical. We're going to use our DMM, a digital multimeter. We're going to use lab scopes. We're going to use scan tools, and we're going to test various components of the car. We're also going to use 4-gas and 5-gas engine analyzers to see what's coming out of the tailpipe, so that you can understand how things are functioning. So you get to test sensors, chase down network problems, replacing sensors, determining whether it is the computer, the sensor, the wire in between, is it a loose ground wire? And there's where all this electrical stuff we covered in intro, touched on during steering, suspension, brakes, engines, and then went back into in advanced electrical. This is where you're going to get to, where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're going to take those skill sets to be able to solve these problems. And we're going to learn about the various fuel systems that are in automobiles today, and how to diagnose and how to safely work with them. And we're going to get hopefully into the new building soon, and we'll be able to check our stuff by putting the car on the dynamometer and see if the car is performing as it should. All these tools help us to diagnose what's going on with the car, a drivability problem. Say someone comes in and they have having a misfire. So there's a check engine light on, you check it's got a random misfire code, or P0303, whatever. And we find out that one of the cylinders isn't firing. Well, is it because it's got a fouled spark plug? It's got a leaky injector, an injector that's not spraying enough fuel? Do we have a valve that's not closing all the way because it has a weak valve spring, or it's got carbon built up on the back of it? All these sorts of things. Maybe we have a problem with a temperature sensor. And so we're going to be able to show you how to diagnose these things so that you can successfully repair them in industry, because we just don't shotgun cars and just throw parts at them. We want to find out what the problem is, okay? And then we want to find out what the proper procedure is to repair or correct that problem. And then we're going to confirm that we replaced and corrected the problem correctly. And then we can hand the car back to the customer. Also, we're going to go off into transmission in sixth quarter, transmission and drivetrain. And this is where you're going to learn how the power from that engine gets applied to the road through the various drive components, whether the vehicle is a front wheel drive, an all-wheel drive, a rear wheel drive, a four-wheel drive. We're going to learn about these systems. We're going to learn how to remove and replace a clutch. We're going to be able to surface automatic transmissions and transaxles. We'll be servicing transfer cases. Sometimes we'll be replacing these components. We do not rebuild automatic transmissions in the class it's just not enough time in the quarter to do so. However, if the student is advanced enough and has the skill sets, sometimes we let them rebuild manual transmissions. We also are going to go through tearing down drive axles and taking the third member out, disassembling it and making all the correct measurements. Taking the differential portions out, checking those, putting it all back together, checking backlash and pinion depth engagement to make sure that we're able to actually service these units. U-joints, drive shafts, CV axles, all these components are part of the drivetrain.
One thing that we didn't really cover on this was hybrid and electric vehicles. And we do cover hybrid and electric vehicles in all of the different quarters for which parts are in those quarters. We actually have an articulation with Tesla. Once you complete our program, you can apply and get accepted into the Tesla program for training if you want to work on electric vehicles. If you do well in there, you basically get to choose where you want to work for Tesla. We have many dealerships and independent shops that hire our students. We have a couple of shops that all the employees in their businesses are from our college. So our students are succeeding in industry very well. So do we have any questions? I know we had Matt in here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I saw there was one other student, I think, that came in.
Yeah, Nisa, did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So any questions?
Sorry, I was late to the meeting. When does the fall quarter start? Exactly.
It's the end of September.
End of September. Okay.
Yeah, end of September is fall quarter.
Yes.
And
Generally the
Doug.
last Monday, I think, in September. We're a late start school. We run 11 week quarters. 10 weeks of it is training, and the 11th week is finals. Right now, and we're hoping that we keep this same format because everyone is really liking it, students especially. We are doing all of our lecture, or at least 80 or 90% of our lecture online through videos and Canvas, the online course. And then we're on campus 2 days a week, where we used to be on campus 5 days a week. But we're on campus 2 days a week for 8 hours from 7 till 3:30. And it could be Monday and Tuesday, or it could be Monday and Wednesday. I'm not sure what's, actually it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. For the
Tuesdays
next,
and Wednesdays for intro, and fall
next-
quarter starts on the 26th of September.
yeah, so it'll be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You'll be on campus from 7 until 3:30. Now, once you've completed your first 3 quarters, we do offer internships, and there is some businesses working with us that offer apprenticeships where you could get credit for on-the-job training while you're in the program. The students seem to like the format with 2 days a week on campus because they get more time to work. They get more time with their family, and they can do the lecture portion of the class on their own time. So the way we were set up before COVID was 5 days a week, 5 hours a day. So you can see where that might change how much time you have with your work and family.
And your days, once you're assigned to Tuesday, Wednesday, that's the days you are for 6 quarters. So the instructors change their days, when they're going to see you, you have the same day so you can set your schedule. And we find the employers like this a lot. Yeah, and it gives you an opportunity to make more money. And so your chapter in questions and quizzes, all that stuff is in Canvas.
Gotcha. Okay.
We do have cafeteria on campus as well. They're open right now with a kind of a skeleton crew, but it's coming back more and more as the COVID loosens up.
Sides.
Yeah, the COVID loosens up. So
I'm sorry, this is the location exactly of this is that South Seattle City College or
South Seattle College.
the address is, it's in West Seattle. The address
Okay.
is 6000 16th Avenue Southwest, Seattle, Washington, 98016.
okay. Yeah, I live like
It's 98106.
Okay, I can find it. I'll do a quick Google search, and that's
Yeah.
the same program online. Is it like the parallels with is it the diesel mechanic program? I think is how it's advertised online as well.
We do have a diesel program there as well. Yes.
Okay, so that's separate from this one.
Yes.
It is. The intro is the same. So
Okay.
so you take intro, and then if you decide you sign up for diesel class, then you take the intro class, because the intro portion is exactly the same. We just, cars are just a little smaller than the big trucks.
Right.
And then you go off into the diesel program, which is also a 2-year program.
Also 2-year prior. Okay.
Yeah. And we find some students actually do both. They actually will take the automotive, then they'll go and do the diesel.
Okay.
Yeah, because they want to get a job with like King County or a municipality working on all their vehicles, and they have cars, trucks, buses, they have it all.
Right. Absolutely. Is there a Zoom meeting for that program as well coming up? I'm not sure how I just submitted like a thing online, and then you told me to reach out today and join the meeting. So
You're welcome to come to the school, and we can introduce you to the diesel instructor. Anytime. We're there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 7 to 3. You can show up, or you can email us. My email is Kirk, KIRK, .Clapper, CLAPPER, at seattlecolleges.edu. But you're welcome to come anytime and see what we're doing there. And I'm surprised that the diesel didn't make it to this. But they were putting everything together. But yeah, we have Mark Murphy is the diesel instructor's name. And I'd be happy to introduce you to him and let you see what they're doing over there if you would like.
Yeah, and you can always email me at Todd, TODD .Jones, JONES, at seattlecolleges.edu. Everybody has the same at. And the diesel instructor is Mark Murphy, MARK.MURPHY at seattlecolleges.edu. And Monday through Wednesday, if you want to pop by and check it out, no problem.
Cool.
You don't have to make an appointment, just show up. And
Okay.
if you
I'll
look on
probably
the
stop by
campus,
next week then.
yeah, if you show up at on the campus, if you go on the campus website and up in the right-hand corner, there's a magnifying glass, click on it and type in campus map. And the map will come up and you'll see the AUT building, which is the automotive building. That's the new one. You'll see the TEC building and the WWE building, I think is, or WWB. And in between those 3 buildings is a black square, and it has no designation on it because it's the ABR building. It used to be auto body repair, but they closed that program down, and that's our temporary location. And you just park in the north parking lot and come on in and visit.
Great. That sounds great. I'll probably visit next week because I get off work early. So
Okay.
If you want to go, if you want to see the diesel program, Monday and Wednesday is when he's there. Todd and I are there all 3 days, but Mark's only there Monday and Wednesday.
Gotcha. No, I'm about both. So I'll probably stop in and say hello.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Then one more question for you. So I guess prerequisites, you said it's so the 2-year prerequisites to get in, as far as you mentioned math and then taking classes. Is that just for the transfer to a 4-year degree for 4-year college as well? Or
Actually, while you're in, if you're taking for the AAS degree and you don't plan on doing transfer, the math is called applied math, where instead of doing college level algebra, you're doing math that'll actually be used by you in automotive or diesel industry, where you're doing measurements with micrometers or dial indicators. You're calculating gear ratios and things like that, things that'll be really useful to you. If you take English while you're in, I think it's a 3-credit class as well, not a college transfer class. But they work on writing repair orders. Your final paper will be talking about a brake job or an oil change instead of writing about a book or
Moby
something.
Dick or, a Shakespearean novel or anything like that. Yeah, it's geared towards the program.
And then
I think Albert Engel's still teaching the math, isn't he, Doug?
he is. And then the psychology is to learn how to get along and understand people that you're working with and customers, just to help you with that part of life.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I don't think I have any more questions off the top of my head. Like I said, I'll probably stop by next week, Wednesday, maybe.
That'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'd
Cool.
love to see you.
Sounds good.
If you just ask any student if you see them where Doug or Todd are, and they'll know. So they'll know.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd love to see you up there.
I'll make a point of stopping by. Well, thanks for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye. Any other questions? Anybody? Okay. Great PowerPoint, Doug. I liked it.
Anissa?
Yeah.
All righty.
Well, I guess we're done.
I think we're done, Todd.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
But I can get you the RSVP numbers.
Yeah, I'll send it out on Friday, like the most recent count on Friday, so that we can